the ancient city of Tripoli, amidst the shifting sands of history and the relentless pursuit of faith, lived a man of noble stature and unwavering conviction, Leontius. A commander in the Roman army, he was respected for his strategic brilliance and admired for his quiet, unshakable integrity. Yet, as the Roman Empire, under Emperor Vespasian, intensified its persecution of the growing Christian community, Leontius found himself standing at a perilous crossroads, one that would lead him from the halls of military power to the eternal glory of martyrdom. Leontius was not a man of impulsive actions. He was a thinker, an observer of the human condition who saw in the humble, steadfast nature of the local Christians a strength that the Roman legions could not emulate. While others mocked the followers of the way, Leontius found himself drawn to their courage. He began to learn of their teachings, finding in the message of compassion and selfless love a resonance that touched the deepest parts of his soul.
The transition from a Roman commander to a man of faith was not instantaneous. It was a gradual unfolding, like a sunrise breaking over the desert. He began to secretly assist the believers, using his influence to shield them from the harshest directives of the regional governors. Yet, such a secret could not be kept forever in an empire that demanded absolute allegiance to the gods of Rome.
The inevitable confrontation arrived when the governor, Hadrian, learned of Leontius' sympathies. Leontius was summoned to the governor's palace, where the air was thick with the scent of incense and the chilling promise of state authority. Hadrian, once an ally, now wore the mask of a stern inquisitor.
"You serve the emperor, Leontius," Hadrian stated, his voice echoing through the grand hall. "But rumors suggest you serve a different master, one who challenges the very foundation of our Rome. Recant this foreign creed, offer incense to the gods, and your rank and life shall remain yours."
Leontius stood tall, his armor reflecting the dim light of the chamber. With a calm gaze that unnerved the governor, he replied, "I have served the emperor with loyalty and courage, protecting the borders of this land. But I have found a higher service, one that demands not the blood of others, but the purity of my own soul. I cannot abandon the truth I have found."
The days that followed were a testament to the endurance of the human spirit. Leontius was imprisoned, subjected to the cold dampness of the dungeons and the psychological weight of isolation. He was offered reprieve time and again, provided he would simply bend the knee. But his resolve was hardened by a profound peace, a sense that he was not walking toward death, but toward a liberation far greater than any freedom this world could offer.
During his trials, his courage became a beacon for others. Many who had once feared the Romans found their own spirits emboldened by his stoicism. He spoke not of politics or rebellion, but of a kingdom of justice and mercy that existed beyond the reach of any earthly Caesar. His words, simple yet profound, carried the weight of a man who had already surrendered his fears.
The final day of his earthly journey was marked by a stillness that settled over the city. Leontius was led to the outskirts of Tripoli, toward a site destined to become a place of veneration. The crowd gathered, a mixture of the curious, the fearful, and the faithful. The sun beat down upon the parched earth, but Leontius walked as if he were treading on holy ground.
As he reached the place of execution, he turned to the crowd, his face serene. He did not seek to incite anger against his captors.
Instead, he offered a final prayer for the city, for his soldiers, and for the strength of those who would remain behind. He knelt, closing his eyes, his heart beating with the rhythm of an ancient, undying hope. The strike was swift, but the silence that followed was heavy with meaning. In that moment of sacrifice, the Roman authorities believed they had extinguished a threat. Instead, they had ignited a memory. The story of Leontius, the commander who chose the cross over the sword, began to travel far beyond the borders of Tripoli. The martyrdom of Saint Leontius did not end his presence in the world. It transformed it. He became a symbol of the ultimate cost of conscience and the enduring power of faith. For centuries, his story has been told in the quiet corners of churches and the grand halls of history, serving as a reminder that true power is not found in the commands one gives, but in the convictions one is willing to die for. Leontius remains a figure who bridges the gap between the earthly and the eternal. He reminds us that even in the face of absolute power, the individual spirit possesses a fortress that cannot be breached unless it is surrendered. His life was a brief flicker in the vast timeline of empires, but his martyrdom carved a permanent path of light, inviting all who hear his tale to consider what truths are worth defending and what, in the end, truly lasts.